Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very interesting story to bring to you guys tonight. And the reason why it's interesting is because it has to do again with the whole cancel pigs thing. Now, there has recently been an altercation between the Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms creator Ed Greenwood and his supporting of an indie comic. Now, by him just simply supporting an indie comic, that made the cancel pigs so angry to the point where they went after him. But unfortunately, he's not exactly too strong-willed, let's just say, and decides to bend the knee to the cancel pig mob. So this is the problem in current day modern entertainment, where you're going to have two sides, right? And then there's going to be the people in the middle that get caught in the culture war kind of a thing. And what ends up happening is you get people bending the knee to these cancel pigs, and that ends up bolstering their numbers, even if the allyship is very fake, even if someone like Greenwood doesn't really care, they just want to get their name out of the headlines, they are going to bend the knee, and you're going to have people do that quite often. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below. Go check out my link tree. It's there, and I would love to see you on the channel. So it says Ed Greenwood, the legendary writer and editor of countless Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms projects, came under fire from a woke cancel pig mob this weekend after retweeting the Indiegogo projects from Ryan Word, Nerd Palmer, Hayward Saints 8. The fantasy writer caved to the mob after receiving backlash for supporting an indie creator with only 32 backers over this writing, marking a new low for the blacklisting behavior of the mainstream industry. Now, I've said many times, okay, many times, that I feel like independent creation is definitely the future. Whether you want to look at it from a video perspective like YouTube, or whether you want to look at it from a comic book perspective, whatever the case may be, I truly believe that independent scene is going to thrive to the point where it is going to become the new mainstream, right? But you're going to have these problems where the old guard is going to try to do anything and everything they possibly can to try to protect themselves. You really can't blame them, right? Like they've been grifting on this for a long time now. They've been smooth sailing, but only recently, for the last few years, have they begun to lose so much money, to lose so many sales, that they're doing everything they can to try to protect themselves from losing more. And the independent scene, all that's doing is creating a massive ripple in the industry that is causing these people to lose even more sales, to lose even more money. There's only so much money to go around. So if you have people buying independent comic books and they're not buying mainstream comic books, then obviously the mainstream is going to try to protect themselves, and they're going to try to make sure that they get as many sales as humanly possible. So I don't blame them for doing this, but you can't expect anything else. Now, the cancel pig aspect of it is ridiculous. These are the people who either work in the space, right? Or people who rely on this space for some way, shape, or form. Or they're just people who are miserable in life and they want to just try to cancel everybody because they don't have anything going on in their own lives. So they want to make sure everybody else is as miserable as possible. It says his partnership with Dungeons and Dragons goes back to the 1980s when TSR was looking for a campaign setting for advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and Ed Greenwood had a setting he used for his articles in Dragon magazine. Eventually, the Forgotten Realms campaign set was born, and Ed Greenwood published many novels, novellas, and short stories based on the Dungeons and Dragons campaign. While Ed Greenwood had also been part of the typical publishing establishment, he hasn't shied away from spending time with indie creators and fans of his work, making him more beloved than many fantasy writers who often hold themselves on a pedestal above the fans. This led to Ed Greenwood streaming with Ryan Word Nerd Palmer on several occasions and befriending the indie comic book creator. Over the weekend, the Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms creator retweeted Palmer to support his Indiegogo comic, Hayward Saints 8, stating that try this old school in the very best way. Took me back to the days I paid 10 cents a comic at the local variety store, only this time the art is better. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said, right? I think it's pretty much straightforward, plain, right? It's nothing too crazy. It's not like, oh, support the anti-woke or anything like that. No, it's simply, hey, this is an indie comic book creator. I like what he's doing. Here's a little bit of a boost, and that's basically it. That alone is enough to make these establishment cancel pigs lose their freaking minds, man. So it says this spurred controversy among the woke cancel pig mob because the tweet Palmer used to promote his project said, back us, this is the book we wanted, instead of Snowflake and Safe Space, instead of Bisexuality X-Men or Cat and Bat soap operas. For every disappointing gimmick, a chain of letdowns, this is what we expected from the best, but it's from us for us. again, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Obviously, that is very divisive, and you're going to have your people that are going to pick your sides when you make statements like that, and that's fine. But the difference is that the people that pick the side of the independent creator, they're not going around trying to cancel everybody, at least not from what I can see. They're not going around doing absolutely ridiculous things, anything they possibly can to try to cancel people. However, the other side, the side that says, no, 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 we need to protect the old guard, we need to make sure that the establishment remains the establishment, those are the people trying to cancel everybody. Those are the people that are trying to go out above and beyond to make sure that people like Greenwood feel a certain way to the point where they have to bend the knee to them. And that's the biggest problem going on. The cancel pig woke mob then took to harassing Ed Greenwood as anti-LGBTQ because of the quick reference to recent X-Men comics turning gay in Palmer's post. While most fans are opposed to the homification of beloved characters and sales have been on decline because of this fact, there are still mainstream shills out there who will pounce on anyone who violates the mainstream access media narrative, even someone as revered as Ed Greenwood promoting a small comic book project. Now, the funny thing is, again, these people are just constantly trying to get their way. They're constantly trying to shift the narrative into their favor, and they know that they're losing grip. They know that they're losing power. Have you ever seen someone just completely lose it because they know they're no longer in control? That's the cancel pigs. That's essentially what they are. Cancel pigs are people who were in control prior or who had power prior, and now they see it slipping through their fingers, and they cannot let it go. They refuse. They need it. They absolutely need this power. So it's funny, and again, it's sad at the same time because they could be doing so much better. They could be trying to improve themselves. They could be trying to improve the comic books they make, the production, whatever the case may be, but they're not doing that. They're out there attacking people on Twitter, attacking people on Instagram, attacking people everywhere for the simplest thing. And then the funny thing is they always try to use some sort of other group of people to bolster their cause or to justify their cause, right? It's kind of like the video I did on Gina Carano, where all of these white cosplay liberals were out there trying to say, oh, we don't like Gina Carano, but hey, that's not really what it's about. It's about the fact that it's unsafe for people of color. Yes, the entire convention is going to be unsafe for people of color if you allow Gina Carano to come. So you need to cancel her. You need to stop letting her come. Otherwise, think about the people of color. What are they going to do? Because clearly that's what it's about, right? No, it's not. It's not what it's about. These white people, these white liberals, they just want to cancel Gina Carano. That's all they want to do. And they're using other groups to try to get their way. It's the same thing here. These cancel pigs, they don't give a shit about the LGBTQ community. And if they do, chances are they're in the LGBTQ community, at least the activist version of it. Because remember, you have the regular gays and then you have the psychotic gays. And the psychotic gays are all over Twitter. So you're going to have this situation where they're going to be very loud. Even though they're a minority, they're going to be very, very loud. And it's going to make people like Greenwood, unfortunately, bend the knee. And it's sad because he really shouldn't. And he probably doesn't even realize that he shouldn't. It says, unfortunately, Ed Greenwood apologized, and the Dungeons & Dragons author wrote a lengthy rant on X, along with an accompanying video bowing to the woke cancel pig mob. Oh, man. It's sad to see the greats, man. Sad to see the greats fall. I want to make it very clear that I'm sorry for what occurred earlier. I want everyone to feel safe and included, and I did not mean to cause any harm with my haste and negligence when promoting that tweet. Representation is so important, and I want to be an ally to that ideal. Oh, bro, you are done. You are so done. There is no saving you from the woke mob anymore. The moment you come out and you say this absolute nonsense dog shit that we know deep down, Mr. Santa Claus, you do not believe in, okay? You do not believe a single word that you just typed on X. All that is that your PR team told you to do that, or you're just doing that because you've seen other people do that when they get attacked online. You don't actually care about being an ally to the LGBTQ or the cause or whatever. You don't care. You only care about not getting backlash. You only care about not getting hate. You're too scared to stand up to them. It's okay. You can just admit that. That's fine. But this whole thing about lying, about wanting to be an ally, nobody believes you, bro. Nobody will ever believe you. And guess what? You think it's bad if we don't believe you? No, the cancel pigs will not believe you either. You can put out all these apology statements that you want, but at the end of the day, the cancel pigs are still going to come after you. They're still going to request every single thing from you. They're going to make sure they have your soul as much as possible until you basically disappear. So you just gave into the cancel mob. Congratulations. You gave them all the power that they could ever have over you. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.